keep things moving. We keep things flexible. We keep things growing. We keep things developing. We keep things safe. We keep things connected, protected, in line, on time, and online. We keep things social. We keep things interesting. Sometimes maybe too interesting. We keep things simple. We keep things steady. We provide you with the right IT solution at the right time, at the right price, with one purpose: to keep things moving.
Hello and welcome to Connected. This is episode 10 and my name is, as always, Gordon Anderson. We've done Connected now for 3 months and this is actually the last one before we go on a summer holiday. That's why you see me in a t-shirt and not the usual tie and shirt. It's hot outside. I just wanted to say something before we go into the main topic of today, and that is this autumn we are doing Expo Connected, which is Dustin Expo but in digital form in September the 17th to 18th, where you can listen to keynote speakers like Timon de Jong and Elsa Bernadotte and many others. So please go to dustin.se/expo to register for that. It's free and a lot of great content. But today you're here for great content now, not in September. And because of that, I have with me Olof Karlströmer from BenQ. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here.
You are sales engineer.
Correct, for BenQ and BenQ Nordic. And I'm here to,
Because you're a bit of a you're the expert at BenQ.
Yes.
When people need more information than just the top layer,
Correct.
then they go to you.
More deeper knowledge, yes.
And
correct.
that is why we want to talk to you. And as the ones watching, you can see a couple of products here. We'll get into those in a while because they have something in common. They are products for the digital meeting room, so to speak.
Correct.
And when we say digital, we don't mean Zoom and Teams meeting. We mean digital as in you want to show things in your meeting room. The meeting room itself is digital.
Exactly, more presenting and wirelessly. And for example, like we're talking about the conference room, like a complement or improvement of the conference room that you will not totally get rid of the cables because you still need power cables, of course, but
that's a classic one.
That's a classic one. And but the long HDMI cables, which are kind of a hassle in installing and also, of course, in use in the conferencing room. And here you can get it totally wireless, almost. You still need a power connector, of course, but in a sense of connecting to the PC and the screen, you have it totally wireless. Yes.
Yeah, because that's one of the most annoying things having a meeting, and also sadly quite common, is people coming into the conference room, sitting down, and then like, who's presenting? Oh, I am. And okay, it didn't work. Is it the correct cable that comes up from the table here, or is the cable broken? Should we take from the projector down?
Directly the cable down, and you don't know, oh, there's an adapter, and etc. and so forth. And here, for example, we're talking about connectors. You have the connectors here, for example, for the InstaShow VDC 10. You have the connector for USB for power and HDMI for video and picture.
Yeah,
and,
so let's as we said, cables is a big problems in the conference room, but you as an expert, can you see Another question, like in the conference rooms, are more people going to, as we can see here behind you, there's a screen. We use a screen instead of a projector in this room, but we have another room with projectors. Do you see any
Exactly.
trends there?
I would say indeed that the screens are growing market, and you will see more and more screens in the conferencing room, and you want a simpler solution to connect to the screens. And software and hardware is usually a bit different, and with the cables, it's always a hassle. With this type of solution, it's a lot simpler, and you also have the range, depending on how far you sit in front of the screen or in front nearby the projector. This one you only have the range of like the wireless range to care about, and so forth. So there's
Yeah, because in conference rooms right now, cables are probably the most common still.
yes,
And
yes,
there
I think
are,
so. Yeah.
I've been to a couple of meetings outside of our offices where people use some sort of device to wirelessly stream from the computer, like almost
Right.
connected like a second screen and not. But that's not exactly what we're going to talk about here. This
Exactly.
is one more step.
Yes. So you step.
Maybe
yeah.
we should go into that then.
Yeah, yeah.
We have a couple of products here.
Yes, the BDC-10, which is the smaller unit, which you have with the 1080p output, very very simple to use. You have the power connector in the back, and you have the HDMI cable connected to the screen, most probably in that case.
So this is the unit, like, to take it from the beginning.
Yeah.
This is something for the computer, and this is something for the screen in the conference
Yes, so we
room.
call this the host, and this we call the button or the transmitter. So transmitter, receiver, I would say quite easily. And this one is installed nearby the screen, and then you have a range or a distance to the button, which is placed on the table within this really nice holder where you put the buttons, and you can just take them out, plug into your computer, and then you just see that the button lights up. There's a green light in the button, and there's a green light on the host, and then you know you're connected. Takes like a minor second, and then you press the button, it will turn blue, and you have the picture. It's very easy.
Yeah,
So
like
it's
we,
even-
we actually
yeah.
use these ourselves here
Yeah.
in Dustin Business Center, where we are transmitting and recording this from.
Right.
We use these in all our conference rooms here. And one thing that I always like is when someone haven't used these before.
Yeah.
They come in and like, okay, but you just connected in computer and you're live. And then,
Yeah.
but what do I do? What do I do? And they connect it, and on screen,
Yes.
there's actually a guide.
Yeah.
Like, just wait until it's blue,
Exactly.
click, and it's
Exactly.
green. Or no, you wait until it's green.
Yeah.
And you
then
click so
see-
it becomes blue.
Yeah. And you see in the tutorial there's like a little button and a finger that presses the button, and so it's very
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
very
that's
simple. Very
so
easy.
it's a wireless solution
Yeah.
for the conference rooms that is made to be that easy. No IT department needs to like say this is how you use the
No.
wireless connection, and you have this, and you have this code to make it secure and things like that.
Right,
So what
right.
about security? Because that's
Security is handled by exactly the host. This is not. There's no real software pairing. There's a hardware pairing which you do once when you install the unit, which is probably done by the installer, so you don't do it yourself. So when it's installed once, this button and this host are talking to each other with like layers or encrypted transmission, basically. So there's an encrypted transmission which is very very safe, and we had some tests done by end users, and it's been very popular out there, especially where there's more companies which are requiring more security out there. So it's been really well accepted.
yeah, because
out
that's
there.
one of the big problems.
Yeah.
As soon as you go wireless,
Yeah.
there is this risk of hijacking the signal,
Exactly.
so to speak.
The-
But everything is hardware encoded with
Yes.
encryption.
Yes, and there's also a maximum range between the units and so forth. So there's a maximum range where you can, well, catch the signal
Yeah.
in that case. Well, yeah.
But so, what are the like now we talked about security, but are there other things that makes this better than a, let's say, software solution? Like at home,
Yes.
I'm a Mac user. I use AirPlay
exactly.
to stream my computer. It's not always fantastic, but it's
No.
quite easy. But someone with a PC can't come home to me and do the same.
Correct. And this is a multi-platform product, so you can use it with the Windows, the Mac, the Chromebook, and also with some Linux units also. So it's not dependent on the OS, and it's all done by the hardware basically. So there's no drivers, there's no fingerprint on the computer, and that's usually quite important for a lot of companies, especially in B2B senses and so forth.
Yeah.
You don't want the drivers installed, etc., and you have to update the drivers every now and then, but that's not needed in this type of product. So it's
Like, so this
yeah.
is actually for the computer. It just sees this as a HDMI cable.
Yeah,
Nothing more.
exactly,
It doesn't
exactly.
see this as a product or something.
Correct. So it only sees the connector basically. So you plug it in, and all the other stuff is done by the host and the receiver and the transmitter between them. So that's the end user don't have to care about anything. Just plug it in, green light, and then press. It will turn blue. And then when somebody else wants to present, he presses his button or hers button, and then it
Okay.
turns blue. So you can take over in between in a session.
Yeah, because
And,
that's
yeah.
usually like, okay, your should I send my presentation to
Exactly.
you, or can I get your computer? Otherwise, you have to redraw the cable and whatnot. But like, how
Right,
does that work
right.
with this? Do you have, like,
So
do you just
there comes
move this?
No,
or-
exactly. That's a good part. It comes with 2 buttons, so you take 1 button each
Ah.
basically. So there's usually like 2 or 3 presenters, but if there's 2 presenters, you take 1 button each. You plug them in, and then you just wait until you're ready to present, basically, and press the button, and then you can take over the presentation in between each other. So there's like
So
really
if you and me sit here and present something for everyone there,
right.
I have one of these, you have one of those.
One of those, yep.
And like, okay, can you show me this? Then you click here.
I click
And then when I say, okay, but now, just watch this.
exactly, and then you click. And it's nice to have also because of sometimes when you do the presentation, there's some pop-up window or something. You can just press the button, undo the pop-up window or the email that popped up or something, and then press the button again.
Oh,
to
it's like a
present.
mute button,
so
but
it's like
for the screen.
Right, exactly. That's a really good
Because
example.
that is, yeah, I've been in the multiple meetings when you get this pop-up message.
Yes.
Hi, are you free for a beer later? Or something like that. Like,
right.
whoops.
And somebody just pulls the HDMI cable really quick and breaks the cable or something. Then no more presenting that day.
That's actually, like, it's such an easy, small thing, but a very, like, you need it almost.
I think so.
Anyways, even though it's just a small.
Once you tried it, you have to have it. Yeah, that's how it is. Definitely.
But you talked about the hardware encryption,
Yes.
and as it is hardware, it becomes very user friendly, as we talked about.
Yes.
Do you have any other, like, does that help for the transmission side? Like, I know I work with video,
Right.
and like wireless HDMI is super expensive because it's actually quite hard to send a wireless high resolution signal without the delay
It is,
and
it is.
video and everything.
Exactly.
Like, how does this handle?
And this use 5 gigahertz network, and it makes its own network, which you don't use with other devices. It's only for the buttons and the receiver, so there is very high bandwidth at all time. And this has different channels where you can choose between if you want to. Default is auto channel, so it will
So it checks where
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
the most bandwidth
Yeah.
available.
Like a wireless microphone or something like that. It checks which is free, and then it uses that one. And if it gets full, it just chooses another one if it sets to auto. But you can also set a fixed channel if you want to within the 5 gigahertz band. And so it will keep the maximum transmission at all times. You can do also video streams, and also, which is quite tough sometimes when you have like a narrator which is talking. You don't latency in the voice or something. Exactly. And this is eliminated by this product, which is quite unique, I would say, in that case, the InstaShow product. And so that's very popular actually when you do, because sometimes you do some video and you want everything to be correct, voice, etc., and so forth, and movement. Yeah.
So you could use this as your home like entertainment system as well, even though it's not the
fairly
main.
close, fairly close. It's a fanless solution, so that's something to keep in mind, to bear in mind. So it's not like a Chromecast, I would say, but the idea is quite similar, I would say, in a B2C senses, or right. So but it's a very smooth, and also as if you break something, for example, like this HDMI connector usually breaks the pins sometimes, which
Sadly,
happens.
yes.
And sometimes you have to have a replacement that you put on the cable. But on this one, you just exchange the buttons. You can change another button, and the user can actually test by themselves in the conference room to see.
How many of these can you buy for one of those?
For the
like how many can
maximum
be connected?
For VDC 10 is 16, and for VDC 20, which we call the big brother, I would say in that sense, is 32 units. But
who needs more than 16?
Yeah, right. No, that's true.
We have two
Definitely.
in our conference
Exactly.
rooms, and I can see an argument to having like 4 just for safety.
Exactly.
16 seems overkill.
Yeah, and they have to stay in the conference room. That's
Do you know anyone who's bought 16 to their conference rooms?
No, I cannot say it. I cannot say anyone who did. No,
but
that's the thing. Yeah, right.
Like if you need it, you can do it.
You can
like,
buy more.
It's better to
Yeah.
go over what most people need than under, and people get annoyed that they can't have enough.
Exactly. And the USB-C is the complement for this one for VDC 10, which is only one connector, and
they're different here.
Yeah. So that's a bit different there. So this one is for backward compatibility, and this one is for, I would say, today's PC. The modern PC today is usually USB-C now.
Yeah, and so that's both Thunderbolt and power and everything.
Yes, correct. So very simple to use, easy to use, and a lot of Mac users love that one. Yeah, of course.
I would say, but there is one thing here that I don't see, which has become more prevalent in meetings I am in, and actually, like, except for me as the Apple geek, at home with AirPlay, I can take my phone and just click and get it up there, or if someone visits with an iPhone. But in meeting rooms, that technology seldom exists where people can do that. So
correct.
I've heard that you may actually have a solution for that.
Yes, and this is the VDC 20, and this one also have on the tutorial screen that you were talking about before. You also have a setup for how to connect with AirPlay or Cast to the screen with like an Android or something. But especially for Mac, for example, you can connect to the network, which this one has, and then you can just AirPlay stream
so you can do that for your computer as well.
Yes,
if you want.
So that's a very nice functionality. So you can do it either from your phone or your MacBook, which is quite neat actually. But so this one is for more, VDC 20 is more for wireless solutions that you're talking about.
Like
in that
everyone
sense.
should be able to send from every device.
Exactly. So then you might, you won't get up to 32 connectors, but there might be more in that case, yes. Because you can use your mobile devices like iPad or, tablets, etc.
Yeah, because right now, I actually, now I maybe seem stupid, our viewers may think, but I don't know any good solutions for that, except this.
I guess it's a bit unique,
because you can't take your HDMI most people do not have an HDMI connector on their phones or an adapter for their phones to HDMI.
Right. So that's true. And this one you can also maybe connect to like a newer tablet and so forth, but it uses quite a lot of power. So I think AirPlay is to prefer, and in that case it's the VDC 20, which is the newer of the Insta shows. So it's very neat, And there's also, just to mention that there's standby mode in these ones. So you can set it to standby mode, so when you remove the button, the host unit will go into standby mode and just wait until you connect the button again with power, and then it will connect together. So it's like 1 second until it starts up.
So when this get button power, when the button gets power, it sends a signal like, okay, someone has connected this in a computer, so
Right.
please go out of standby mode because someone will probably push a button soon.
Yes, and this will run HDMI power on to the screen in that case and light everything up. And
Oh
then,
yeah, then we have here,
Yes.
which is something like you just connect it and the screen goes on as well. Like everything goes on.
yes, you
with-
get it autonomous or automatic.
That's automagic.
yeah, right. Just as simple as possible. I think it's a very neat solution and to have. And so the standby mode you can set yourself. So you can go into this unit you can connect to the Wi-Fi and you can edit functionalities, configurations, and it's very similar to like in a router, for example, where you can connect to it and do your settings, set passwords, so it's
Oh, so you
maximum
connect
safety.
to that the same via the browser, just an IP address. and-
Right. So it's very easy, neat to configure and so forth. But out of the box, you just put power on basically, and this will light up and pair automatically to the host once, and then you're up and running. So it goes very fast out of the box. But
And after that, like for the IT department, if they should like, okay, let's equip all our conference rooms here with this because people are always wondering which cable and yanking them out, drawing it here, and we have 3 different solutions in different rooms, which is
Right.
actually quite common.
yes, correct.
Like if they change everything here, what would you say is the like workload on the IT department?
I think the workload is probably if somebody drops or if they have to change the buttons, but it can be done fairly quick, and we sent out return buttons and so forth if there's any issues. And I think that's the most common thing, that the HDMI port gets damaged. USB-C not so much, but
That's a great connector, actually.
Yeah, it is. But the HDMI port sometimes gets a bit bent.
But can you
and
have
damaged,
like backup buttons that are unpaired at the like IT service desk?
Yes.
And then you just go to the room and pair it.
Pair it.
How long does something? Do you need to go into the system and router and program, or
No, there's a button on the side here which you
it
press,
says pairing.
and then it says pairing, and then it will light up on the screen, and then you push this button on the side here, and it takes a couple of seconds, and we recognize each other, and then it's done.
so when it is set up, it shouldn't be any more work for an IT department. And as the screens gets all the tutorials for the users, they should
Yes.
not be. They don't need to say this conference solution works like this like this, and have education and
Right.
It's a time
No, I
saver.
think exactly, and I think this type of setup is getting more common nowadays. So people are getting used to this, pressing the button to present and so forth. So I think it's, and the nice part is that you can see when they are connected and so forth. So it's nice to see the green light, and then you press and it turns blue, and then you're presenting. And I think also in that sense that you said that you can have 2 buttons connected or 4 buttons, etc., and you can just press and then share. And also with this one, VDC20, you also have a possibility to do split screen if you want to with several buttons. You can do split screen also if
so
needed.
you and me could both present at the same time.
Correct actually. Yes. In the VDC20 we could do that and compare documents or
Okay,
something else. I don't know.
I've never seen that solution before in anything. That's
yeah, nice.
I don't
nice.
know if I know what to use it for, but hey, all new functions.
Yeah.
As long as they're easy
And
to use, and this seems to be.
If you forget your PC, you connect your phone instead with the VDC20 and you do some presentation from there, maybe if you want to show something. And usually,
Nice.
a lot of things are in the cloud, so you can usually use another mobile device for the VDC20. Yeah, so it's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why we wanted
smooth.
you here to talk about this, because we are. Yeah, we don't like cables. That's just
I
no.
think not,
Most people don't.
Not at home and not at work. I think
And
it's,
this is a smart solution.
Yeah.
Do you have anything more to add? Otherwise, I'll thank you for joining here on Connected.
Thank you. No, not really. Thank you very much for bringing me here.
Yeah, thanks for the
having me here.
information.
Yeah.
These are
Yeah.
I haven't seen this before, even though we use
Nice.
these ones here.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
that was cool. Thank you very much, and
you.
everyone who has been watching. Thank you for watching this small walkthrough of a great solution for the digital meeting room. Thanks for watching. See you this autumn or something like that.